What is up, everybody? My name is Gus Bus, and welcome to my YouTube channel.
Gus Bus.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am back with another knife and glove combo video. I know it's been a while since I've created one of these. I just thought in my previous video I showed all of my favorite knife and glove combos, but I spent a lot of time the past couple days going into Epidemic's skin inspecting server to find some additional combos that I think are really good. Not as many budget combos in this video, but I have a whole video on some pretty awesome budget combos. And I got a little bit of heat about not showing the combo as much and knifing too much and changing weapons, so I didn't do that as much in this video. Also about my intros being too long, so I'll stop waffling, let's get right into the video. So the first combo I want to show you is a combo you've probably seen before or some sort of iteration of this. I actually showed these gloves with some butt plugs black laminate in my previous combo video, but these are the Broken Fang gloves on hinge in a good float field tested for around $80. And then the Falchion knife Damascus steel also in field tested for around $140. This is a really clean combo you can get for around 220 bucks. The little snake thing, the Broken Fang operation little medallion on the gloves goes really well with the Damascus knife. It's definitely a lot of bang for your buck. I don't really like fingerless gloves, and this is the only fingerless glove combo I'm going to show in this video, but I still think it looks really good, and the Falchion knife Damascus steel is one of my favorite budget knives in the whole game. So for the same price, you can get yourself a pair of Specialist gloves Forest DD Pat in Battle Scarred. These are a lower float Battle Scarred, so they look pretty decent, as well as a Huntsman knife Lore also in Battle Scarred. So this is going to come out at around $220, and I think it looks really good. The part on the glove that you can see when you're inspecting goes really well with the Lore finish in a Battle Scarred and like a higher float. You can see it kind of right there. It goes pretty well with the Lore finish. And then I think the text on the gloves also goes pretty well with a more Battle Scarred, a higher float Lore finish as well. And obviously the green handle. Something I don't really like about the Lore finish, the Lore knives, is the fact that the handles are green. But for this combo, it works really well. So I think for your budget, you can build out a pretty cool inventory with this combo. Something that you're going to see is that a lot of the more affordable combos are going to be green, browns, etc. And so this is one that again is a green combo. This is the Specialist gloves Buckshot in a good float field tested for around $80, paired with an Ursus knife Safari mesh, actually in factory new. You can get it down a little bit more if you wanted to go minimal wear. They don't look that much different, but again, these fit really well. The part of the gloves with the writing on it fits really well with the same color as the Safari mesh finish on the Ursus knife, and I really do like the Ursus knife. I know a lot of people do, like, it's got mixed opinions, but I really think the inspect animation is really cool when he's slipping it around his finger like that, and then the colors go really well together. And I've actually seen a lot of people rock a similar combo if they're looking for a good budget combo. So a pair of gloves that I've really grown to appreciate are the Driver Gloves Queen Jaguar. They're really inexpensive. You can get a pair in minimal wear for around 120 bucks, and then you can combo that with a bayonet knife Rust Coat in Battle Scarred for around 220. This comes in at around 340 for this combo, and I think it looks really good. The Queen Jaguars have become gloves that I've really grown to like, but they're kind of hard to, pair with a good knife that fits perfectly. The Rust Coat's the really only one that's going to be brown and fit that brown aesthetic. You could kind of go the black laminate route or a vanilla knife with these, but I think this looks really good, and you're going to get yourself a bit of a higher tier knife with the bayonet. Yeah, I think it's a really good combo. I wish they came out with a knife that had like brown handle or something like that, like a vanilla knife, so we could match a lot of these brown gloves a little bit better, but for the 340 mark, I think this is a really good combo. So around the same price for only $10 more, you can get yourself some Moto Gloves POW and field tested in a decent float, not great float, but decent float, as well as a Talon knife Rust Coat in Battle Scarred. So yeah, I think this looks really, really good. Again, another brown combo, but this one has some pop of orange in it as well. Like I said, for this budget, you're probably not gonna get the most colorful, the most flashy combo, but you can find yourself some combos that fit really, really well together. Like this one I'm looking at, you know, the ivory color on the gloves fits almost perfectly with the ivory handle on the Talon knife. I mean, look at that, that's almost perfect. And then the brown orange color also fits really well with the details on the POW gloves. These are super underrated gloves in my opinion. I'm a big moto gloves enjoyer, so I think for this price point, this is a really good bang for your buck, and you can build a really awesome inventory around this orange brown combo. Like the Desert Hydra, obviously that's really expensive, but there are a lot of really awesome orange and brown skins you can build around this as well. But if you want a little bit more color in your combo, or I guess I should say a lot more color in your combo, you can get yourself some Moto Gloves Blood Pressure in field tested, decent float field tested for around 170, as well as a Survival Knife Crimson Web also in field tested for around 180, coming in at around $350. Prices are going to fluctuate depending on when you're watching this. I'm getting the prices off of CS Float because Sparkle's site Skin Search is down. I went with the Survival Knife here because of the black handle. A lot of the lower tier knives don't actually have black handles with a Crimson Web knife, and I went with Crimson Web because I think the colors match a lot better. I was in between this and then a Nomad knife, or not Nomad knife, this and a Slaughter pattern, but I ended up going with the Crimson Web because of the pattern on the gloves. I think that fits really well with the Crimson Web pattern as well as the black handle on the Survival Knife. Another combo I really like in this price point for around $5 more are the Moto Gloves 3rd Commando Company in-field tested, pairing it again with a Crimson Web knife, this time being the bayonet knife in-field tested as well. So definitely on the Bayo you can see a lot more wear on the field tested version, but I think this is a really cool combo. You know, the little subtle red line, not subtle, but the red line on the gloves really complements the color on the bayonet Crimson Web. Again, I was between this and Slaughter. The Crimson Web and field tested was a little bit more, or a little bit cheaper than the other one. And sorry if you hear some background noise right now. I had to turn on my air. I usually turn it off because of the background noise, but it's getting too hot here in the summer. So back to the knife and glove combo. I think this looks really good. It's a really good budget option. You can build an inventory that is red or green and throw in some black in there. So I think it gives you a lot of options to build out an inventory with. So for about $100 more expensive, we're jumping up in price a little bit here, are the Specialist Gloves Mogul and field tested, paired with the Falchion Knife Case Hardened Tier 3 Blue Gem in Well Worn. I actually found this one just looking up regular on sale CS Float Falchion Knife Case Hardens. It was Tier 3, there was very minimal overpay. Obviously everyone knows that Blue Gems get typically a significant amount of overpay, but you can find yourself a decent priced one in the Falchion knife, especially if it's in something like Well Worn rather than field tested or minimal wear. Really underrated knife and glove combo here. I actually saw this in game, but it was with a gut knife Tier 2 or Tier 1 Blue Gem. I thought it looked really, really good. I don't know, I think that the silver on the knife pairs really well with that little patch on the gloves, as well as obviously the blue for the Blue Gem goes really well with the lighter blue on the glove. And yeah, a pretty unique combo for under that $500 mark. So if you haven't seen this combo, it's gotten pretty famous over the past year or so. I think Oni showed it on one of his streams. These are the Sports Glove Big Game in field tested, as well as a Skeleton Knife Urban Mask also in field tested. If you didn't know, the Big Game gloves are actually pattern based, so there are a couple different patterns that fit really, really well. Obviously, I think all of the Big Game gloves that include that sort of gray tree branch on it fit really well, but these two patterns, you can see where the two branches intersect, fits almost perfectly where you put your finger in the skeleton knife, so it got pretty famous because of that. The way that that looks, it looks really, really good. But like I said, I think any Urban Mask knife pairing it with the Big Game gloves is going to look really well. I just wanted to show you guys a pretty cool option, and I want to do the rare animation. I know you guys got mad at me for changing the changing weapons too much in my previous video. Also, Rust Coat works really well, but I've shown that already a couple times and in my previous video. So for around $100 more, you can get yourself a combo that I really love. I'm a huge fan of driver gloves. My first gloves ever were black ties. Obviously now I have moto gloves, but I think this is a combo that's really underrated. I've actually seen a couple people rocking this, so it's not that underrated, but the driver gloves overtaken minimal wear. I actually found a pretty good knuckle pair. I was lucky, I just picked a random minimal wear pair off of CS Float, and then a stiletto knife, tiger tooth, also in minimal wear. It's cost you around $600, $590 to be exact, but I think that it looks really clean. I love orange loadouts. You can build out a really sick orange loadout with this combo, and the brown on the handle of the stiletto knife fits almost perfectly with the brown on the gloves, the brown leather. So I think for the price point, it looks really high tier. I love the stiletto knife. I love all tiger tooth finishes. And I previously showed this combo, but with a huntsman knife in my last knife and glove combo video. But I think this just looks a lot better and it's not that much more expensive. So staying in a similar price point at $550, unless I've been living under a rock, I've never seen anyone talk about this combo. I've never seen anyone rock this combo in game. This is the Specialist Gloves Emerald Web and Battle Scarred, paired with a Huntsman Knife Vanilla. So I went with Battle Scarred here because, you know, these are really expensive gloves once you get lower float, and it's going to save you a decent amount of money. And I still think they look pretty decent. With the Huntsman Knife Vanilla, yeah, so at first glance, you're probably like, why do you like this combo so much? But once you take a deeper look, you see that little green dot on the Huntsman Knife. It's the same exact color as the glove, so I think that looks really sweet. Obviously, if you get lower float pair of gloves, those patches will be darker on the gloves, and I think it will fit the knife even better. But I wanted to save us a little bit of money here and go with Battle Scarred, and obviously you can save up and get, you know, a lower float pair. But, you know, I still think it looks really good in Battle Scarred, and it's a really unique combo you probably won't see anyone else rocking. And I went with the Emerald Web gloves, even though they are a little bit more expensive, because I cannot stand these gloves at all. I know that they fit really well with this knife, like that little green dot fits perfectly. But I don't know, something about these gloves I can't stand. And I know a lot of the community feels the same way. Thought I would show them just in case I do have some, you know, finish line enjoyers. And if you went and field tested, you could probably even save a little bit more money. These are minimal wear, obviously. So up to you, hate these gloves. And it wouldn't be a Gus Bus video if I didn't show you a black and white combo. Something about these black and white combos, I don't know, looks super clean to me, especially on T side. These are the driver gloves black tie in a good float field tested for around $210, as well as a kukri knife vanilla. So this is going to be around $500. I don't know how you feel about the kukri knife. I know it's a very polarizing subject for a lot of people, especially some of the OG skin guys. I think it's a sick knife. It's turned out to be one of my favorite knives. And definitely, I think that if the kukri knife vanilla fits a lot of black and white combos. It's a lot darker than a lot of the other vanilla knives. And I love the pull-out animations. I like both of them. I don't really like the inspec animation, but I think this is a super clean combo, especially for your T side if you have a black and white inventory, which I used to have. I'll make an updated inventory video, but I no longer have a black and white inventory. So this is a combo I actually saw in game, so I'm not going to take full credit for it, but I wanted to show everyone else how sick this is and how unique it is, because it's something I'd never really seen before. These are the Sports Glove Arids in Well Worn, paired with an M9 Bayo, scorched and battle scarred. So at first glance, you're probably like, oh, that doesn't look that good. But the more you look at it, the more you're like, oh, wow, that looks actually, I mean, to me at least, I think it looks really good. The battle scarred, you know, obviously a vanilla here probably would fit even better, but those are really expensive. And I think actually the little scratch, I guess not the little, a lot of scratching on the knife looks really good with this pair of gloves. And the gloves look pretty good for being well worn as well. I don't know, I think the colors fit really good. Obviously, these are a pretty hard pair of gloves to, you know, to pair with a knife, but I think this looks really good and it's not crazy expensive. So staying in that sort of gold gray combo, we're gonna go with the Sports Glove Knox and Field Tested, as well as a Nomad knife, fake gold gem, field tested as well. So this is a knife and glove combo that I think looks really sick. I know it doesn't fit that Omega. I showed the Omegas paired with the Lore, I think, in my last video. but I think this is a really unique combo you're not going to see a lot of places. Gold gems can have a little bit of overpay, but not nearly as much as a blue gem. And I think the Nomad knife, obviously, I said it in my last knife and glove combo video, that they've gotten a lot more expensive since Simple used them, years ago in that major. They're still pretty affordable though compared to a lot of the tier 1 knives like the Butterfly M9 bayonet and the Karambit, even a Talon. I think this is a really good option. It's going to be unique. You're pairing the gold on the knife with the gold on the gloves, as well as the gray and black on the knife with the gray and black on the gloves. Really cool option here and pretty unique. So right now, this is a combo that I really want to get myself. I currently have some Moto Gloves Cool Mints, but I think pairing this with the cookery knife Blue Steel is a really good option at $850. I believe I showed these gloves paired with a M9 bayonet Blue Steel, I think in my last video, but like I said, I'm a huge fan of the cookery knife. I think it looks really, really sick, and I absolutely love this combo. So I got an AK-47 Inheritance, and I fell in love with that skin. So if you guys have seen my last videos, you would know I had a black and white inventory for a long time, but because I absolutely fell in love with that AK, I completely redid my whole inventory to match that. And these are the gloves that I got. I currently have a Nomad Blue Steel, but this is probably the next upgrade that I'm gonna do to my knife and glove combo. Super sick option. So I showed a red option earlier in the video, and I showed a driver glove stiletto knife combo earlier in the video, but I wanted to kind of put the two together and show you this driver gloves crimson weave combo with the stiletto knife slaughter in minimal wear. So the weaves are in decent float field tested. I was actually surprised at the price point of the driver gloves crimson weave. They're a lot more expensive than last time I checked. I'm not sure that's why that is, but I think this is a really, really sick option. You can also get yourself a factory new slaughter, and the handle looks a little bit better on the stiletto knife, but again, similar to the Overtake and the stiletto Tiger Tooth, I think that the handle on the stiletto looks really sick paired with this with these gloves. And you could also go with a different red finish, but I thought the slaughter looked the best, so I want to show you guys that one. And yeah, for $855 looks super high tier. So I know I showed a cookery knife vanilla paired with the black ties earlier, but I just had to show this. Something about this cookery knife vanilla I think is super, super sick. Pairing it with a pair of Snow Leopards in field tested. These are decent float field tested, obviously have a pretty decent knuckle. I think that this looks so amazing, especially on T side. I know I mentioned that earlier, but I think this is a really good option for you if you're not trying to go too flashy. Pairing this with a print stream, and then on the CT side, and then a slate or something like that, or a black laminate AK on the T side. There are a couple different options for the op as well. I think this is a really, really cool option you can have. On CT side, some whiteouts with, some black stickers on it. I don't know, something about this white gloves I really think looks good in this game, especially with this cookery knife. So I'm not reinventing the wheel with these next few combos. These are your kind of end game combos. They're really, really expensive, but they look super, super sick. Starting off with the sports glove Vice in field tested. These are an okay float field tested for around $1,600, paired with an M9 bayonet Doppler Phase 2 in minimal wear. You can get a factory new, but I don't think that it looks that much different, and you're going to save yourself a couple $100 with the minimal wear. This actually isn't a pink galaxy. I know that there are those pink galaxy patterns of the Dopplers in Phase 2 that are a lot more pink, but they're a lot more expensive. People are trying to command crazy overpay for them. This is going to cost you around $3,200. You could probably save yourself $100 here or there with a little bit higher floats, but I think this is a super sick option. I don't love the Vice gloves, but if I had the M9 with this, I would be totally cool rocking it. So next up are my kind of end game combos here. These are the sports glove superconductors in field tested for around $3,000, paired with a Karambit Gamma Doppler Phase 3 and factory new for around $2,400. Total is going to be over 5 grand. So obviously super high tier combo here. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm sure you've seen this before, but I had to show it because I didn't really show end game combos in my last video. I think this is a super sick combo. I mean, look how perfectly the beginning of the karambit pairs with the inside of that inside of the gloves. I mean, that looks so good. And I love this like turquoise-ish color. I know it's a little bit more of a cyan than it is a turquoise, and I'll be showing a more turquoise combo here at the end. But I think, you know, for 5 grand, obviously it is super high tier, but I think it looks super sick. You could build yourself a really sick inventory, get yourself a Vulcan, an Icarus Fell, you know, obviously super sick combo. So for me, this is my end game knife and glove combo right now. They're Moto Glove Spearmints paired with a Karambit Gamma Doppler Phase 2. Obviously, I went with field tested minimal wear to save some money, but I still think they look really good. They're lower float spearmints and then minimal wear. I think it looks still pretty good, and you're going to be saving yourself a couple $100 with a minimal wear Gamma Doppler Phase 2 rather than going factory new. I mean, just look at this combo. It fits nearly perfectly with the spearmints, and I love the white on the spearmints. I know they're basically the most loved Moto gloves. I think the cool mints are also sick, but a lot of people don't really like the Moto gloves besides the spearmints. And I think these look so sick. You could build a super sick inventory with this knife and glove combo. You could have these on T side or CT side, and then maybe the previous one on T side, and have probably the most elite inventory you could have. So I don't know, I think this is super awesome, and I wish I could spend $5,300 on it. But that's gonna do it for today, guys. Comment down below what your favorite knife and glove combo I showcased was, or comment down below what you're currently rocking. Would love to see what you guys are rocking. I know I left out of some pretty obvious combos in this video, like marble fade gloves with a marble fade knife, or fade gloves with a fade knife, or slingshots in a ruby, Pandoras in a black pearl, you know, hedge maces in an emerald. But I feel like those are kind of played out, so I wanted to show more unique options, and I showcased them in my previous video. So if you haven't, check that out and see if I missed any of the combos that you guys are wanting to rock. But thanks so much everyone for checking out the video. Like I said, comment down below what you're rocking. Would love to see your guys' knife and glove combos. But in the meantime, thanks so much for checking it out, and I'll see you again in the next one.